I still love that music. It makes me so happy. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Absolute Women's Football Show with your weekly roundup of all the latest news. We've even had some breaking earlier this evening that we're going to bring you to. Tonight, we do have an award-winning panel with us, of course. Paul will be joining us at some point, so bear with. He will pop up when we say Mark Skinner's name 3 times, as always. Now, we will be talking, as I said, all things latest news, Women's FA Cup, Championship updates, of course. We had some rescheduled matches. And we're also going to be ranking the NWSL kits as this new season starts this weekend. And, of course, much, much more. So, yeah, stick with us. And hopefully there'll be lots of chaos and laughter all the way through. Good evening to everyone in the chat. We love how early people get. Emma, you get the award for earliest comment this evening. She's excited to talk about the magic of the cup. Unfortunately, Emma Villa didn't have any of that magic, did we? But never mind. Good evening to Matthew in the chat. Good evening to Mark. Evening to Emily as well. Love you to see you, Emily. And everyone else. Graham, we have to shout out Graham because all of you are wonderful in the chat. However, I don't know if anyone saw this. Graham tagged me earlier and said, Graham, I'm giving you a moment here because hard work should be rewarded. He says, evening, boss. As the unofficial championship spokesperson on the show, when Ant isn't around, I took it upon myself to get the remaining fixtures for the top 7 sides as the battle for promotion heats up. A lot are still to play each other. And he's put all of the remaining fixtures together. So we can look at who's on what points, going for promotion, what matches are coming up. So, Graham,
that is
out to you. Excellent work. We absolutely love it. And that's what this community is all about. If you've got a passion for it and you know we're going to talk all about it, then yeah, give us your thoughts, the commitment. Yeah, as Emma rightly says, look at Graham, that's commitment. It is. It absolutely is. And hello to Johnny as well. Good evening. And right, we're going to say it in unison 3 times as someone is ready to appear. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. Mark Skinner.
Mark Skinner.
Mark Skinner. Hey. Hey, sir, how are you?
Mark Skinner.
I'll see how long I could hold that until it became uncomfortable. Good evening, you bunch of individuals.
Longest serving manager in the WSL now. Jeez.
Shocking.
Which proves that stupid people always get power. Hello, everybody. It took what 90 seconds?
It did. Hey, we'll start early. This evening. We are, fantastic hashtags all around. But Paul, this was some latest news. Was it about 7 o'clock it broke this evening? And this was, of course, the news that Ruth Littlejohn, who we all talked about her departure from London City, has officially signed for Irish club Shamrock Rovers. Much teased announcement. Paul, what does this mean, this signing? Because it means a lot to the club and to the league, doesn't it?
I mean, you've seen. I actually saw some people talk about it, and there's a few ex-London City players and a few Irish players, because Niamh Farrelly as well, who used to play for London City, is in the League of Ireland. But this is, Ruch's coming home, as it were. And the comment that was made, it was actually from one of the people in one of the other groups I'm in, who is a London City Lionesses fan, who I'm monitoring the group chat of very closely because they seem to know a fair bit about London City, and they were asked what happened with Ruch's departure. Was there a lot of drama? And her response was just, "How long have you got?"
Oh wow! Okay.
So I'm now sitting looking at that and going, "Hello." I'm like, I may have just posted, I'm just about to start a podcast talking about, and we'll mention Rucha. So if you want to tell us what was going on. But yeah, they said Shamrock Rovers' shirt sales have just quadrupled overnight.
I can imagine.
Outside Ireland as well, like, because she is an iconic figure and she's known so well, and she has a certain demographic fan base as well who are very, very loyal and who'd love to buy her shirts. I've said before, she's the first one that I can think of, the first major example of someone who fans follow from club to club and are fans of the club because she plays for them. Like we saw,
100%. Yeah,
we saw that with London City. And they missed a trick. Like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, "There's your hashtag. There is the, you change your Twitter name to that. All sorts." Speaking of which, I'm loving both of them, but Danny, that's just Danny's topical tag.
I can't get rid of him.
We're going to do it. We're going to talk about it. Don't worry.
With all the news this week, he's been ringing off the hook.
Oh no, he's like,
well, he's in demand.
It's in demand.
And he loves women's football, so
he does. Yeah.
You're not going to make me say it yet. I'm saving it for when we actually talk about him. You're not going to make me sing his song yet. It will happen.
It will, but not now.
Just
not now.
say his name once.
Danny, stop.
Paul's like, don't sing it, don't do it.
They are Shamrock Rovers, and it's great for the League of Ireland, because I read an article the other day in, I think it was the Irish Independent, and it's really bad that I can't remember the name of the author. I'm on one of these. I saw it was on a football blog, and I'm like, and it was, why does nobody take women's football seriously? And I was kind of like, and it looked like it was the WSL, and I was kind of like, huh, and then realised it was written about the League of Ireland. So I can see you already looking for it. So I'll have a look. Speaking of information, I did catch the end of it. Graham, mate.
Yeah.
The flipping project, that is.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, yeah, if you ever want any work, Graham, I've got a lovely website that needs some contributions. So, if you're ever up for it. But no, Chloe, I was going to ask you, because you sent me something, Kate McCabe's interview about her talking about grassroots back home, and actually this signing and this attention on the league. How's that going to impact, do you think, actually changing that? I don't want to say stigma, but like changing that accessibility in Ireland, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be huge. So basically what Katie was saying was, I think it was after Renee's presser this afternoon, a couple of them got to speak to a player, and it just happened to be Kate McCabe. She was saying how when she played, she used to have to play with the boys, and there was actually no opportunities to play with the girls, but she's now really pleased that her nieces can actually play on an all girls team and like an actual pitch. And particularly for like Irish football, it's an absolutely huge signing, Rusha, and I'm hoping that she is a player, and she knows Talent quite well, because she plays there a lot with Ireland. And I think with what Katie was saying, Ruth signing and everything, is going to be such a huge build now for Irish football, and it's going to go in the direction that English football is going, and it's just going to keep going up, where more girls will get the opportunity to play.
Yeah, it's given it even more of a kickstart now that the bigger names are being drawn to it. And I was just actually reading an article from, you can guarantee I can't find it now, but essentially one of the ex-coaches of the NWSL, and they said, Naomi Gurma going to Chelsea was really bad for the league, because the last thing we want are these big names leaving and going to Europe and seeing that as like the promised land, when actually we need to maintain the talent here. So it's great for some leagues, but then you feel the effects obviously when those players leave as well, don't they? But I've just noticed Johnny in the chat. Thank you, Johnny. She's doing the coaching badges, Rusha, with the Irish FA. So there we go. And any fans of RuPaul will know just how much you can shoehorn Rue into things. So
Rue-horn?
yeah,
I can't wait.
Not Boo-horn.
in fact, it should have been a Shamrock reveal. That's what it should have been.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
Should have been. Sign me up, Media Team.
I can't wait for the Rue puns. Like, I'm obsessed with it on Drag Race, and just I can't wait.
We've got
If they don't
another
do it,
reason to
we'll
do
have
it.
to. If they don't do it, we're gonna have to.
Yes, we will. There's a need for it. There's a need for it, and we will happily fill that need. Now,
Will the other
we're
teams
happy.
rue the day?
hey, Rue the
You say
Day.
we'll happily fill the need.
To fill it. Yes.
Oh, I thought you were calling on him. Sorry.
Not now, Phil.
Get down. Get
Oh my
down.
God, have you seen Modern Family
Good
where Laura's always shouting Phil? This will be us with
Yes.
like Phil.
yeah.
Imagine
we
if you're
get
watching
sample.
this for the first time tonight and just Danny randomly looking off screen at random points. Not now, Phil.
Not now, Phil, get down. Down. What a job.
Oh,
Yeah,
women's
if we
football.
do, if we do have any new listeners and watchers this evening, welcome. This is a football podcast. We just have a lot of in-jokes that have been running for years and just get better every time we bring them up. That's what it is. Now, speaking of the man himself, we've got yet another manager change, haven't we, this week? Excuse me. As Manchester City, I'm so shocked, that's what it is, have parted ways with Gareth Taylor or Gareth Southgate, depending on which commentary you listen to.
Hang on, wait. They've actually. When did that happen?
Oh, last week when we were live, the West Ham game,
Yeah.
they said Gareth Southgate's going to make a
No, not
substitution.
that bit. The Gareth Taylor has actually been sacked. When did that happen?
Monday.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Paul, we put in the group chat.
There's been a red card at Portsmouth, Cammy.
Sorry.
I shared it.
There's been a manager sacked in the WSL, but who for?
Has he?
What?
Has it?
Yeah.
Really? Has he?
I'll find it and send it again.
I am being serious.
Look at Man City's dugout and count how many managers are in it, Paul.
Have you seen Nick Cushing? No, it's not a replay.
Oh yeah, Nick Cushing's back as well.
Nick Cushing's back, yeah.
What?
I'll send it to the group chat again. I'll find it and send it to the chat again. Bear with. Bear with.
This is
we need
brilliant
to
live
clip
reaction.
that up. There we go. How many minutes was that? Oh, fantastic. Oh, Paul, we love you.
Even Kerry is shouting. Well, for people, if there are any new watchers, obviously Kerry is my partner. She is shouting from downstairs. Paul, did you not know Man City sacked their manager?
In fact, does Kerry want to come on the pod next week? Maybe that'd be.
Well, tell you what, you go on because you're better informed than me.
What else can we say?
Sorry, kids, cover your ears. She's just
Paul,
responded with. She
Mark
just responded
Skinner's
in the
apparently-
most Northern Irish fashion. We just fucking hellfire.
There you go.
I've just sent it over so you can give it a read.
I was going to say, we definitely talked about this in our group chat, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Because I
I'm
said
genuinely ashamed.
It was on the running order as well, I think, for everyone.
Yes,
Was it on the
it
running
was.
order?
You know what, guys? I put so much into this show.
I can't believe Mark
No,
Skinner's the favourite as
I
well to
knew-
take over. That's just
Oh, Danny, don't give me hope.
Did you not hear that either, Paul?
now Mark Skinner's the
I'm
longest running
genuinely-
WSL manager.
yeah.
Yeah. And there's only four or five clubs who haven't changed their manager in the last 10 months. And it's just like, what?
Can I just say, in my defence, I have the past few days had stuff going on in real life. Not bad stuff, but just stuff that has kept me away from like Twitter and Facebook. Actually meeting real people. I know it's an amazing concept. There's this thing called grass, and apparently if you go out and touch it, it's like, but
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, Nick Cushing. Nick
Yes.
Oh,
So
I'm
it
so
has been
excited.
written down, guys. 10 minutes. Paul reaction to clip. There we go.
That's really bad as well. Because last week when Josh left, I was singing his praises, and he was like, "I can't believe anybody's as much an encyclopedia as women's football as you." So that's put the kiss of death on it. Sorry, Josh.
Oh, well, everything else, Paul. Everything else that he good. But no, so yeah, so what happened? Obviously there were the Angel City rumours, and then they got a bit quashed. And then they decided to part ways because essentially they said we're not up to the standard, and they hope that this push for the rest of the season will be enough to get Champions League to secure for next season to just do a really good end of season push and put them in the best position for next season, essentially. So so Nick Cushing is back. Still has no intention of making the job permanent, a bit like a cover teacher, and still has unfinished business in the men's game.
Do you reckon at training sessions, if he's a cover teacher, like you've got like Buddy Shaw at the back of the rooms throwing like wadded up paper?
No, he'll have a lesson plan that he doesn't understand, and he'll go, no, I'm not doing that. Scrunch up in a ball and just
do a quiz.
He's just there like, what have you been working on, girls?
What can we pick up from? Yeah, let's do that. So that happened. That happened, Paul. Now, this decision, like we said, was rumored a few weeks ago, with Angel City saying their candidate wouldn't be available until June. But Danny, as we've mentioned, there's a replacement right there, lined up, ready to go.
Who are we talking about? Sorry.
One phone call away. Who's your
to take over from Gareth Taylor?
Yeah.
Oh. Phil Neville. Phil Neville. Freya.
Oh, clip that bit. So the rest of it. But,
that was incredible.
That was unbelievable. Like the worst thing as well, as soon as you pulled your phone up, I'm like, he's not, and I knew.
I wasn't ready for it, but he's there. Yes, ready made. He's got a job at the minute, poor Phil, isn't he? But he's not doing very well.
In fact, let me just ask the question: why do you have a cardboard cutout of his?
I've got a folder of them in my cupboard, just for different occasions.
A folder of them.
Phil on the beach, like you got different kinds of Barbie. Like beach Phil, supermarket Phil.
It's like that Tina Fey advert for a certain hotel chain. It's the women's football version of that. When I manage a football team, I can be many different Phil Nevilles.
Is it just Phil Neville or is it different Phil? Or still
No, it's just Phil Mitchell.
Phil Mitchell.
Phil the
Phil Daniels.
Phil Daniels, yeah.
Part Life.
Yeah.
That's for the older people in the.
Oh god.
Emma doesn't understand.
I've got visions of Danny just opening his folder and just confidence is a preference for the official boy. This is going on the end of the year highlight show, isn't it?
Graham says it perfectly to all new viewers and listeners. Welcome to Studios. Strap in, enjoy the ride.
Gonna bring a different Phil next week.
Can we vote for the Phil? And which, get a viewer vote. Which Phil would you like to see?
Yeah. Phyllis from Coronation Street. Is it Coronation Street? She was in.
You've got that famous Irish Phil McCavity.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
It's almost 9:00. Well, basically, job done, everybody. Just see ya.
Yeah, there was some football, but we won't talk about that.
I'm in tears.
Oh dear.
Sorry, Phil.
Oh, always time for our Phil. That's what it is.
I'd love it if Phil Neville was at home and then he tomorrow he's just googling himself. Or put his name into YouTube and he's like, "What the?"
Sam. Guess. Get Phil Neville.
Yes.
Imagine.
Yes.
Hey,
yes,
he wants to walk back into women's football, doesn't he? What better place to start?
Exactly.
It'd
Than
be
the
like,
award-winning podcast.
Exactly.
For women's football.
And Phil.
Done. Go on, Phil, you can do it. Now, Paul, I'm not going to ask you about the ins and outs of this, but we've talked about these manager sackings, like just very strange timing because it's March now. We've started a new window. We've started a new part of the season. Should they have just waited till the end of the season? Should they have done it earlier in the winter transfer window? But yeah, Paul, do you reckon there is enough time to make a difference? So I don't know.
I think it's. I wonder if all the Chloe Kelly stuff has precipitated this, in the sense that as long as he was winning, they were prepared to put up with any questions about his interactions with players. But the sheer spotlight of all the Chloe Kelly stuff and the fact that people are still on there going, you know, Chloe Kelly got so much happier in Arsenal and all that sort of stuff. And again, possibly seeing other comparable size clubs in the men's game start to treat their women's team with more trigger happy stuff. For example, Liverpool and Man City have gone, well, if they'll sack someone who has, you know, is an iconic manager at Liverpool and has done incredibly well in getting them stabilised, maybe we're at the point where we've gone as far as we can with Gareth Taylor, and this is as good as it gets. And we've given him Miedemar, Shaw, you know, he's the players he's got, and he still can't match even Manchester United. Manchester United look like they're overtaking us, and they've got a plumbing charge. So we've got to kind of plumb in a polar neck. So like. They've just looked and gone, hold on, if we're being beaten by him at that basket case of a football club, maybe Gareth Taylor is no longer the man for Manchester City. And with Matt Beard being free, imagine what Matt Beard could do at Manchester City.
With the money.
And
it's just, yeah.
And also he's a player's coach. Like, it's obvious he's a player's coach because the way he talks about Olivia Smith and all that sort of thing. He could come in and do the job immediately. And I didn't see who it was in the chat. Someone did mention it in the chat. You know, Matt Beard ?
Yeah, Emily. Yeah,
it was Emily. Well done, Emily. You're more on the ball than me because you were the one as well who said, "Have you been living under a rock?" Yeah, probably. But. Yeah, that would be a really good fit, I think. And also, I don't know, with that quote from Paul, I don't know whether that's like Ellie Roebuck has actually posted that on Instagram, but imagine, I really hope that is. Ellie Roebuck has commented on it.
She posted something to a story, didn't she, about karma or
Yeah, it was. It did include that, I think, what goes on comes around.
So it was very pointed.
Yeah, I was going to say
soon afterwards, I think.
Chloe, you're looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chloe's on the case. Yeah, but a lot of people were very quick to like the announcement post as well. Not
Chloe Kelly, cheeky like.
Yeah. Super like, just
yes.
But yeah, as Emma said there, yeah, she put it on a story, and it's all the timing, isn't it, of everything. Yeah, and Emily's saying there, you know, Matt Beard would definitely know how to spend it. He could do great things and totally lift silverware. Yeah.
I also think as well, and again, Gareth Taylor's handling of the Bunny Shaw situation may have marked his card in the sense that he was very. He said the right things, but he had to be prodded to say the right things. Like there were some managers, obviously Emma Hayes, very famous for coming out and being vocal about her players. Sonia Bonpastor, whenever has happened and whenever she's been asked about such issues, has been very clear and vocal. Serena Wiegman has. And Gareth Taylor, and there were comments made at the time. It's like, even from, I think, our friend Crunk on the Shades of Blue network.
Yeah.
There were comments made of where is Gareth Taylor in this? Like,
yeah, what's he saying? Yeah.
Why is he not saying anything? Matt Beard would have been all over that in seconds. Matt Beard would have been like, literally, with the way he defended Olivia Smith, with something like what happened to Bunny Shaw, Matt Beard would have literally been front and centre. Like, you don't even need to ask me about this. I'd like to say something about the horrendous stuff.
Yeah, here's my platform. I'm going to use it. I'm going to speak out.
So, Ellie Roebuck put about 2-3 hours after Gareth Taylor got sacked on her story a quote of a boomerang saying, "What goes around comes around. Keep your circle positive. Speak good words. Think good thoughts. Do good deeds."
And there you go. So again, it might not be related, but the timing's very suspicious. So yeah, but I mean, it's like worst kept secret, isn't it? Everyone kind of knows what's going on, but of course, no one can actually officially say it. But yeah, so we shall see. Do we think he would go to the NWSL then? Because that was the rumor, and there's no smoke without fire. Do we think?
Yeah, I think he would. But just to get away from it all.
Yeah,
make a new life for himself. Yeah,
new start. Absolutely. Yeah, because who needs a new manager at the minute? I can't think off the top of my head. Oh no, Angel. Sorry. But if there's any other ones, obviously Jonas has gone over there. Who actually? There was a new interview with Jonas. Was that today? I don't know if anyone saw it.
No.
Yeah.
Again, talking about Miedemar. And that seems to be a really big sticking point with what he said. But yeah, we won't go into that now. But very interesting. We'll keep you updated to that. However, Emily has asked, where do we think Gareth Taylor and Matt Beard will end up? I think Matt Beard will hopefully stay in the WSL. I can't see him going abroad. Has anyone got any thoughts about where Matt might
think so. I think he might take some time off, and then I can see him definitely in WSL next season. See if something comes up.
Well, there's plenty of jobs going because everyone's been sacked at the minute. So.
Yeah, it doesn't take long these days, does it? That's the thing. It refreshes so quickly, the opportunities.
Yeah.
So.
Here's a left field one for you. Newcastle.
Oh, interesting.
Newcastle.
Because I think with the Newcastle owners being how they are, Becky Langley may have a slightly warmer seat than she would perhaps like or realizes.
Okay.
And the Newcastle owners being, the kind who there's this trend for owners to try and show they care by doing big splashy things. And some of these sackings are just owners trying to show, actually, we do care about the women's team. And
do something. Yeah.
We're going to do something. I mean, Matt Beard at Villa Park would be incredible.
So, I've seen quite a few people say it. Would you take Matt Beard?
I don't think he wants to manage in this championship.
Oh, Freya's face. There you go. That was a reaction gif right there.
Well, it was nice seeing Danny. How rude.
It was right there.
How rude. I was just going to say something about, as Emma said, we've already got a new manager. I don't know. But yeah, as Danny's final ever appearance on the pod. Have you enjoyed your time, Danny?
It's been nice knowing you.
Yeah.
Well, if you just the pod's designated hit woman Rosie just appears outside your window.
We're going to replace Danny with the cardboard Phil.
It'd make more sense, to be fair. It's just paper. It's not even cardboard. I'm that cheap. Just a bit.
Hold on. If it's paper, that means you have actually gone and taken a picture of Phil Neville and printed it and cut it out. Which is
yeah.
It's far better preparation than the. Oh, I was going to say preparation. It's far better preparation than the dickhead who didn't know Gareth Taylor had been sacked. Honestly, you would do that.
Oh God.
Oh, I don't know what I was talking about. Yeah. So where would they go? Matt Beard would be great at Villa, actually, regardless of what league we're in. But yeah, no, I think Natalia talks a good talk, so we'll see. We'll see what she does by the end of the season. So yeah, that's
it might be someone coming to the end of their like a Rianne Skinner. Like maybe he'll go back to West Ham if she goes.
Yeah,
something like that. Just
Top
someone in the
Spurs.
summer. Spurs would be great for him, I think.
Yeah, team like that. That again, a building towards something has shown that they can invest and making that step forward. Yeah, maybe. So yeah, we'll see. As soon as we've got any inklings, we'll let everyone know. Now the last thing news-wise, I think we'll have all seen the new United Stadium in the news.
Hold up on the table.
People have compared it to a glorified Butland's tent. It's an interesting design. I'll give it that. And that's where I'll keep it. So yeah, if anyone hasn't seen it, it's a £2 billion, 100,000 seater stadium. Interview with Jim Radcliffe. There's a couple with him calling the women's team the smaller issue, of course. But he did know Maya Letizier's name, and he did know she was captain. Good progress.
That's good. That's progress from thinking Katie Zellum worked at the club, isn't it?
Well, I mean, yeah, progress.
But he also said, "I think the women's team are second at the moment."
Yeah.
So
yes, he also did preface it with "I think." Yeah,
and he did ask if Matt Letizier was her dad.
Yeah. I mean, for every like semi you think for progress, there's about 10 other things to bring it back down. So what I was teeing this up for was there's also being questions of, well, are the women's team going to play there? Now, two conflicting statements here. So United COO Colette Roche has said the club are hoping to move the women's team into the new stadium. And they hope to embrace technology to make the ground feel smaller and more intimidating for the lower attended matches. Now, I don't know what technology can do that.
they're gonna pipe crowd noise in like American stadiums did, and have been massively mocked for.
Yeah. So that, maybe. And then Omar Barada, who's the CEO, says the club want to grow the women's fan base enough for them to play at the stadium. So it's an interesting one. However, they both say, yeah, they could play here. Good. So at the moment, of course, the stadium's not built, so they can't play there at the minute. But yeah, they're thinking, what, 5 years maybe? And who knows? The team could be in a completely different situation in 5 years.
But Omar Barada's getting ripped to shreds by Man United fans as someone who is supposed to care about the women's team and just doesn't. I mean, I rip him to shreds because all I hear is flipping Camp Granada whenever he appears. Like he just walks into the state. Hello, mother. Hello, father. Here I am, Omar Barada. Like.
If I have a song for everyone, that's what it is. But yeah, it was the reason I bring it up is because it's such a shame that this is like the new step of like for the future, and even the women and even the youth teams they mentioned as well. Like, well, it's probably going to be a bit too big for them. Like, it's still that, not bring them in. We'll open like one concourse. We'll do something, but we'll make it kind of our club rather than the others. But
I
hey.
have read though that Jim Radcliffe likes to save money, and the sheer amount of money that it costs. Like, I think when Chelsea tried to open Stamford Bridge for a Champions League game the first time, and left it to 5,000 because if they wanted to open even the whole stand, it wouldn't have been close to financially viable.
Yeah, because they said as well they had to limit it because any more than that, they would have had to close the roads and the streets and hire extra security. And it was all that, which they didn't want to do. So they had to limit it to, like you said, a few thousand, which, you'd think, invest in the future. That's where it's going. And we're seeing what happens to clubs when they don't invest, haven't we? So I thought I'd just bring that to the table. Now, I believe that was all of our latest news coming up. Yeah, good. Okay, before we move on though, we did just want to pay a little tribute and pay our respects. As most of you will know, 10-year-old Poppy Atkinson, unfortunately, lost her life last week. She was an inspiring young footballer, and her life was taken far too soon through an accident. The car came through a fence and onto the pitch where she was training with her club. Now, many clubs this past week have took part in a 1-minute silence. It's been all over social media, and the response from it has just been incredible with all the tributes. Even Man United women paid their respects after the first goal with a shirt that said Atkinson on the back. Now, no child should ever not return home after playing a sport that they love so much. And yeah, we just wanted to really come together on the show, have a moment to pay our respects, because as part of our fantastic footballing community, we know would be right there. And yeah, just wanted to send all of our thoughts and love to Poppy's friends and family, because what a huge shock that no one would have ever expected. And I believe they've raised nearly £25,000.
It's up to 33.5 now.
Up to 33.5.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just going to post the GoFundMe thing in the chat. Is that right?
Yeah, perfect. Of course. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Poppy's uncles have set up a GoFundMe, which is what where the money's coming from, just to set up, to cover the costs of a memorial and support grassroots football across the UK as well. So I'll stick that in there just in case anybody would just want to check that out. That should be going in.
Perfect. Thank you, Danny.
Oh, no, it's not sending. It's not allowing me to. Oh, weird. I'll keep trying. If not, I'll put it on the Twits.
Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, we'll get it out on socials. But yeah, for someone who, idolized the Lionesses and wanted to ultimately be one day, we talk, yes, we get a bit silly on this show, but at the heart of it is our community and the grassroots community that we all love to support so much. So yeah, so we just want to take a minute for that. And as Graham said, short and precious, and make every moment of it. And thank you for all of your messages in the chat as well. But yeah, so thank you for listening to that, everyone. Now, back onto our football reports from the FA Cup. That's such a hard segue, so I do apologise, everyone. It's never easy to go from something to something. So happy for so many people as well. So let's kick it off. Now, last week we predicted, or we hoped, that at least one underdog would have got through. I say underdogs, the only real underdog there was Sunderland, really, weren't they? All the others had at least a fighting chance. So Chloe, we're going to come to you first, because it was Liverpool who managed, let's have a look, the only away team, as it were. Is Chloe just left as soon as I've come to Chloe to talk about it? She's like, don't actually want to talk about that.
Sorry, I pressed the link that Danny put and it sent me away.
Danny, can you stop banishing our panelists, please? That'd be great.
Yeah, but I've been trying to put the link in the chat, but it wouldn't let me. I don't know if it's appeared or not, but I've been.
I think
it does work.
It's done it with me as well, because I just tried to.
Yeah, we'll put it on our Twitter afterwards.
Yeah, we'll get it out on socials for everyone to have a look. Yeah, thank you for trying. Because I fear if anyone else clicks, then we'll all just disappear. On
we'll just be left with Phil hosting.
Yeah. Just a still of Phil, just not moving, not saying anything. But as we can see, the only away team win this weekend. It was close, as were all of them. But yeah, Chloe, what a moment for Liverpool to go through everything that they have with Matt Beard leaving, etc. But to actually come through and get to the next stage, kicking Arsenal out. So yeah, talk us through this one, please.
Yeah, it was. It was, to be fair, it was a good game and a close game looking at it and watching the highlights back. To be fair, it's Liverpool's first semi-final for the first time in 8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
The feeling behind that as well for all the fans,
and you could also see how much it meant to the players as well, like how happy they were as well. And to be fair play to Amber, she's been like, I mean, we miss Beardy. I miss Beardy. I thought he was a great manager to chat. He was a great manager to chat to because he was just so raw and so honest. They were great. But Amber's kind of brought this new life to Liverpool and this new kind of freshness to them. And they just, yeah, it's very, very exciting that they are through to the first semi-final. And I mean, to be fair, they're technically my localist team, despite everything I say. So, like,
Are you a fake fan, Chloe?
Fake fan FC. And but also, who doesn't love a little cup set?
Exactly.
Literally everybody. But it was an unfortunate Daphne Van Domzela own goal that set. But was it though? Because it was quite hard to see on the replays. Like it looked.
Oh, Emma's with you. So it was an own goal because as it's then hit off the post, it's hit off Daphne's back and back into the net. So there you go.
So I was looking so close. I was looking through the screen like that, trying like, hey guys, just ignore this. But I was looking like that, trying to see it. Like, where did it hit her? Where's she scored it in? But
yeah, back. It was, and you saw when she went down that just the heartbreak that was the moment.
You could see how devastated you was, and say what you want about Katie McKay, but seeing her be the first one go over to Daff and kind of comfort and be like, "You're gonna be okay. Like it's gonna be, no matter what happens, it's gonna be fine." Was really nice to see, and like that kind of team mentality that they were all trying to make sure she was okay before they continued, and I really liked that and kind of appreciated that. Renee also made 3 changes to the starting lineup. She introduced the Aussies back, with Caitlin Ford and Cara Cooney-Cross coming into the lineup. And just a little was mentioned about Cara Cooney-Cross that I think she has been sensational under Renee. Like I think now she's getting the chance to play and she's playing more and she's practically in the starting lineup. I think she's really come into her own within English football, and I'm just excited to see what else she can do. And Chloe Kelly's cup tied, so she can't play in the cup games, but that's fine because they're not in it anymore.
There's something catching on the bottom of the screen. First Danny, now Chloe. What's this going?
Oh, I'm not very good at K, guys. I try to be professional, but then my immature side slips out a bit and I just can't help myself.
I enjoyed that, to be fair.
I do well for the most part, and then there's just one little.
No, I'm also just laughing. Danny, this one's for you. Hey, wonderful quartet. My question's for Danny. Where's my next Phil Neville to manage £1 bet going to go this week? Hashtag Phil the Love.
Londis.
I'm
Not
thinking of
Aldous.
the corner shop. Is that not what?
Yeah.
Oh,
Londis is
it could be, I don't know, a third tier French team. I don't know.
He is still sort of scuffling away at Portland, and he's still trying his best. So he is technically in a job.
Londis City Lionesses. There you go.
Very nice. Very nice.
Liddlesborough.
I mean, I sometimes call Arsenal Blondie. I call Arsenal Blondie FC. He can go manage Blonde FC.
One way or another.
Well done. Now, Chloe, unfortunately, so fantastic news for Liverpool, and like Emily in the chat there saying, cried when the final whistle blew went over the line. However, we need to talk about some horrendous fan behaviour yet again, because as Graham rightly summed up, sadly, another week where we hear the story of Taylor Hines being subject to inappropriate comments from an oxygen thief who was at the game. Now, a lot of people saying, well, he was escorted out during the match by security. However, apparently, allegedly, the stewards were laughing and joking with him on the way out, and apparently he was drunk and all these sorts of things. But yeah, Chloe, why I don't know when you heard this, because obviously Taylor making a big statement, and rightfully so, thankfully so. How important is it that we and everyone else just keep calling this out?
I think it's so important that it keeps getting called out, and I mean, I think that everything like a huge, like huge things go out to Taylor for actually speaking about it and being so open and raw and honest, because it is hard to hear. Like I went through it, not to this level, but I went through it last year, like Joey Barton and everything. Not to trigger warning, Joey Barton. Not to kind of this extent, but I went through that kind of abuse and everything online, and it takes so much strength to kind of challenge it and abuse and then try and go back to not normal, but go back to kind of like life and wanting to continue with everything. And it is hard, and it does take a toll, not just mentally, but like physically as well. So huge hats off to her for calling it out. Huge hats off to Liverpool as well for saying we stand with Taylor. And even all the players as well, like Arsenal released a statement. Katie McCabe in her press conference today also said something that she thinks that Taylor's amazing for raising the awareness around it. That the officials were okay were like trying to sort it out. That both clubs have launched an investigation, and she's hoping that they get a ban as well. But it is, and I think it's one of those things that women shouldn't have to be subject to this. Like, you wouldn't see the men's team going through it type thing. Like, why should it happen to the women? Why should they get this type of abuse? Because it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't go on. And I always say that I don't always say I am, it's a fact. I am like a big Everton fan, but some things are a lot bigger than this and being a fan. And I absolutely commend Taylor and Liverpool the way they are handling the situation. And I just think she's an incredible human for continuing and raising this awareness. But it just shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't be. It's 2025. We're wanting to grow the women's game massively, and we want it to be a place where everyone feels comfortable and safe, no matter who they are, no matter what they are, no matter their teams, no matter their beliefs. We want everyone to feel safe and comfortable and happy at games, and the type of things like this do not make anyone feel safe, because it also just shows that no matter what you think, the players can hear what you say. Like, they are always hearing, they're always reading, they always know what's being said about them. And we all stand with Taylor. We all think that we think she's great, and we all stand with her and believe that this type of thing should get called out. It's not the first time it's happened. It definitely won't be the last time it's happened, but it shouldn't happen. And players shouldn't have to be made to feel like that. And Taylor said herself, she's thick-skinned, but imagine if this happened to, say, Lola Brown, who plays for Chelsea. Something like this happened to her, and her being at such a young age as well. Like, that type of thing might not be okay for her. That could potentially end her football career. Because when it happened to me last year, it almost ended my entire journalism career. Like, I wanted to stop doing everything. And yeah, I just think it shouldn't happen anymore.
No, absolutely not. And like you said there about being thick-skinned, you shouldn't have to be thick-skinned to put up with the comments and that's because you can guarantee there'll be people out there go, it's banter. If it's sexually inappropriate, that's not banter. Like, if we've all got sense of humours with our friends when it's behind closed doors in a group where you're in a safe space, comfort with each other. Like, that's one thing, what you do behind closed doors. As soon as you bring it out into public and you say it to someone you don't know when they are in a compromising position, because I believe Taylor was on the floor at this point after a tackle.
Head injury.
head injury, yes. And you just think, are you okay? Because there's clearly something not right, and you can't even blame the alcohol for an excuse or anything like that. And I genuinely think it is, and we've talked about it on the show before. People think they can say what they want on social media and there's no consequence. So they then think they can talk like that in real life and it's okay. And it's like people have lost that sense of how to speak to one another. And it's so frustrating. And as you know, and again, thank you for all of these comments that are coming through. But you know, Sean says, if you can't say anything respectful, don't say anything at all. It's not banter when you don't know the person. It's creepy. Yes, absolutely. But what I did love about it was the statement. It came from Liverpool FC and Taylor Hines. And it was just that. And it was, here's our statement, came out straight away because it was on the Monday, I believe. So it was all the stuff from the Sunday, from the match. And then straight away, Monday, right, this is it. This is what we're doing. And even the wording, you know, we are, let me just get it. You know, we condemn all forms of discrimination and we continue to work all year round to campaign against it. All players now and in the future should have the knowledge our pitches and stadiums are safe places to play and watch football. And we thank Taylor for immediately raising the issue. So clearly, as we've said, she has heard it. And unfortunately, that wasn't the only issue at the weekend. Apparently, at the City Villa game, Gabby Nunes was subject to some vile comments as well. But that was in the stands. So fans heard it. So luckily, Gabby didn't, as far as we know. The clubs haven't said anything, but the people who heard it, they've managed to report the woman who did it, which I think makes it even worse in some cases, that a woman's doing it, have reported her seat number, row number, everything. And the club responded straight away. So hopefully that investigation gets sorted as well. But yeah, Matthew says
it really bothers me about it as well.
Sorry, Paul, what was that?
The thing that really bothers me about it is, firstly, the comments in question, without repeating them verbatim, were apparently in response to Rachel Laws walking up to Taylor, who was down injured, and, you know, giving her a pat and put yourself back up. So they were properly creepy. I'll do that again, kind of thing, which was very, very weird. But also, so, you know, there was a possible homophobic thing in there or whatever. But also, it's the same club that this stuff keeps happening against. Bunny Shaw's stuff was Arsenal. Taylor Hines' stuff is Arsenal. And again, you can't condemn an entire fan base from it.
No, because we know it's not the majority.
And we need to praise the amount of Arsenal fans who've responded to the Liverpool statement and elsewhere with, if this person is a gunner, we want them out of Meadow Park. They should never be allowed there again. You know, it's the fact, though, that it is the same fan base twice. And then you ask the question, especially as it's the fan base that keep getting praised as being the amazing, carrying the game forward. You kind of ask yourself, is it because of the growth that, and because of the media hype, that Arsenal are now attracting these people who are coming out with stuff, and it's just bad luck that it happens to be them, the same club?
Yeah.
Or is it a case that Arsenal need to do more because they are attracting these people and they're not adjusting to it?
Well, that's the thing. It could be a mix of both, couldn't it? Because we, you know, Adam, we've had on the show, we know there's some phenomenal Arsenal fans, and you know, would all hate for 1 second if something happened in our fan bases and people said, oh, well, that's your whole community. You know, you're all like this. I saw a comment actually that was from a Liverpool fan, said they'd came to the Villa game last season and apparently some people from Villa were being awful. And I was like, that's horrendous. You know, if, you know, do you know what you want? Like, let's sort this out, because that's horrendous. And that's not what we do. That's not who we are. And you just think everyone needs to come together, like you say, and actually stamp it out, call it out. I know some people might not feel confident do that in, you know, one-to-one in real life. But there's a lot of text numbers now, isn't there, at grounds that they've, got it on the back of like the toilet doors or the stands. If you
do they operate for the women's games? Or do they only operate for the men's games? Because obviously, I know at Sky Blues games, it's if you hear anything, here is an in-stadium number. But whether that's staffed for women's games,
I think so, because I think it's there all the time as part of their policy that you can text and report it to. Because I know for the Villa City one, people were saying there was a number right there, but I didn't have the information. But then we got it after she left, and they could see the seat number and stuff. And then they emailed it through. So I think as long as clubs are on it with their responses and they're manning those lines and those emails, then hopefully it'll get sorted. But yeah, with the growth of the women's game, I think the community as a whole, we need to be careful. And yes, it shouldn't be down to us, but I think, we play a bigger part and a more reliable part in making sure these people don't come back, because they're not welcome, are they? These horrible people who can't just appreciate the game, and they've got to say lewd things that have no place in society or in life because they're not necessary. Right. So yeah, but the positive note of all of that, Liverpool getting through to the next stage of competition, and Arsenal are out, which of course people are now calling for the head of Renee Sleggers, and you just think, in fact, is that another job opening?
The dream is alive. Phil Neville to Arsenal. The dream is alive.
People's minds would blow if that happens.
Incredible.
Could you imagine? We'd be like, called it first. Called it first.
North London Phil Ever.
Oh, very good.
God.
At the top of everyone's lugs through the Emirates, like, yeah, Phil Neville.
Arsenal, Phil, Liverpool 1.
And again, people are just like, what?
Well done. Oh, I think we're peaked, guys. We'll we'll end it again. Now, Danny, we'll come to you for another incredibly close matchup, because it was Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 0. But what a far cry from the first time these two met. So yeah, take us through it, please. Good. Palace.
Yeah, very, very good. I was really hoping this was going to be it. You always kind of think it would be a massive outside bet if they won it. But Paul, just so you know, Palace were promoted last season. Just in case you haven't with the news on that. But they lost 7-0 to Chelsea earlier in the season. So they kind of tightened the ship up a little bit for this one. Chelsea were bombarding them essentially through most of the game. It could have been more, but only 1-0. There's a few chances in the first half. Ashley Lawrence's cross headed over by Aggie Beaver-Jones. Another Lawrence cross created a chance for Lauren James, but she shot wide. And then Beaver-Jones had a header straight at Yanez. Macario shot wide. Aggie Beaver-Jones had another chance that she put over. So they were kind of throwing everything at Palace in the first half. And you just thought at that point, you just think, yeah, maybe Palace just hang on and get through to penalties and win it that way, but not quite the Chelsea machine that we know of. We knew it was going to come eventually. Ramirez came off the bench, another chance saved, but then they did get the breakthrough midway through the second half. Corner wasn't cleared and falls to Lauren James, and she absolutely pelted it in, smashed it into the bottom corner. And from then on, you thought as soon as Chelsea got that goal, you think, yeah, game's done now, because Palace weren't really creating anything at the other end. Erin Cuthbert had a chance that she shot wide. She had a really good chance, actually. She put that wide. But yeah, Chelsea saw it out. Quadruple still on for Chelsea. And they'll play Liverpool in the semi-final. I think old Leaf will be relatively happy with the way Palace played in this game. They've had a couple of 1-0 defeats now, so he's starting to kind of put his mark on it a little bit, but this was always going to be a really, really tough first game for him, wasn't it? Or FA Cup game. So yeah, it's just disappointing. So I was really hoping Palace were getting through, but the stats all kind of come across that it was so dominant. 24 shots on target. 24 shots, sorry, not on target. 24 shots for Chelsea, 3 for Palace, 5 on target, 1 on target for Palace. 75% possession pretty much for Chelsea as well. It was just so dominant without it being goals. But yeah, a decent performance from Palace. They'll take a lot from it, I think. But Chelsea go through. Chelsea Liverpool semi-final.
Yeah, and it's hard, isn't it? Because none of like the big teams actually played that well this weekend. Arsenal, obviously, we saw couldn't really get it together. Chelsea struggled for a lot of the game. Did they have a goal offside as well?
Yeah, I think they did. One rolled out. Yeah.
And you just think like nothing was really going right for any of the bigger teams. So yeah, it was just if the magic could have been this weekend for Palace to do something, it could have been that weekend, couldn't it? Yeah. Speaking about magic, I'm going to go next for the first match of the weekend. This was, unfortunately, Man United 3, Sunderland 1. And behind me, the eagle-eyed of you will have spotted the little baby girl. Sunderland baby girl, which she doesn't fit in yet because this is 3 to 6 months, and it's absolutely massive. So, the gifts from people we're still reaping the rewards of them. So, yeah. Ooh. Put that back on there. There we go. But yeah, regardless of the outcome, Sunderland should be incredibly proud of their performance. So last Championship club standing, I think that should in itself be an incredible achievement. And they're the only losing side to score. Can we just put, of all the teams that were out there this weekend, it was only Sunderland, the visitors, who managed to get one back. Now, it wasn't the ideal start. Leah Galton was able to convert Celine Bizet's pinpoint cross within 10 minutes. So you thought, is this going to be an onslaught? What's going to happen next? But luckily, 3-1, again, overall, not bad when you consider some of the other score lines that have been subject to this season. Now, Sunderland did create their chances, though, and the first opportunity came from Brianna Westrup's long-range effort as the Lassers corner was cleared, came out to her just outside of the 18-yard box and just whacked it, had a go, and you thought, oh, if that would have gone in, that would have been beautiful. However, United had more clear-cut chances, of course, as you'd expect in the first half, but Sunderland were able to keep that single goal lead until the final moments of first half stoppage time, when Myla Tissier, no relation to Matt,
that's for you, Sir Jim. We know you're watching.
If you're watching, Jim. If you're watching,
he's there with his whiskey on his chaise longue.
Please don't, sir.
What an image! No, thank you. So yeah, Maya, captain of United, was able to peel away from her marker and direct her header in for 2-0. And you thought, okay, going into the second half 2-0, not horrendous. Still doable. And Sunderland never really looked out of it. Yes, their chances weren't coming as thick and fast as United's were, but there was still a chance. Now, United again should have had more on the score sheet, but a mixture of some impressive saves from Demi Lambourne, or Demi Tambourine, as my notes still try and keep correcting her too, which was really annoying me earlier. That I've had to resort to putting in capitals so it wouldn't change it. However, Sunderland's defence held strong. 70th minute, however, the look changes. Katie Watson, fantastic young talent. If you don't know about her, you certainly will in a few years. Made a fantastic run down the right wing, outpacing Janssen, which was quite nice to see. Crosses initially for Lou Griffiths to get onto the end of it. United attempted to clear, but the effort ricocheted back off Griffiths' shin and underneath Fallon Tullis Joyce's outstretched arms, getting a goal back for Sunderland. Now, you could see the confusion, relief, unbelievability on Griffiths' face, because that was her first goal for Sunderland. There you go. And returned from injury, and what a way to do it. Now, not a bad way to do it at all. Now, shout out again to Demi Lambourne, because a brilliant save denied United their first chance at getting a third goal. This was from Sandberg when she came on the pitch, delivered a cross in for Rachel Williams. But again, just a brilliant save to get that out of the way. Lambourne then parried the ball as it came in. Bizet came in to try and get the rebound, but the angle, luckily, was all wrong for Sunderland, went across the goal mouth, and then Goddard was able to clear. And again, as the time wore on, a couple more chances came through for United. Then in the next 10 minutes or so, But it wasn't until the 91st minute, right at the end in stoppage time, when Ella Toon, of course, managed to find United's third. Bizet was involved again. This time she was able to run down the right wing through not much opposition, cross into the box. And again, unfortunately for Sunderland, Toon was left in a lot of space and easily converted. Ball away into the bottom corner. Sunderland, however, could arguably be aggrieved. The second goal went in due to a dodgy refereeing call. I don't know if anyone saw this. The throw-in went the wrong way. It went to United instead of Sunderland. And ultimately, the goal did come from that throw-in. But it wasn't a direct result of. So, maybe they could have had a chance to clear it. But yeah, stats-wise, United had 16 shots, only 4 on target, compared to Sunderland's 4 and 1. So again, as Danny said in the last match, the stats didn't lie. They were all in United's favour. So yeah, it would have been great for the Lasses to get through, but what a fantastic experience. Proud of their performance. And at no point did they make it easy. So yeah, so that was United 3, Sunderland 1. And again, the prize pot for the losers, I don't like the word loser. The ones that didn't win was quite nice. I think it was up to 20-odd thousand on this round as well. So again, a good chunk, especially for the championship. Now then, Mr. Paolo, we have one left to talk about. Both of my teams losing at this point. Paul, this was City 2, Villa 0. However, tighter first half than maybe some people would have thought, but ultimately City showing their quality to get back into it. Yeah, talk us through this one, please.
It was weird because you say it was a tight first half. If you look at the highlights, it looks like a Man City shooting gallery. It's just loads of shots. At,
rude, really. Isn't it?
So Batman D'Angelo.
Did you see?
With an amazing, she's got one of those amazing Zorro masks.
Underneath it, both eyes are black and blue. Why they played her, I do not know. I mean, she pulled off some cracking saves, but why chance it?
Why are they black and blue from a concussion in training or something? Or
from the last match, she went off the first minutes of the second half.
And this is what you mean. It's like, okay, that's if she thinks she can play, fair enough. But
yeah. I need to get the picture for you all now because it's
the doctors kind of need to have a look at it.
Can we see Sab's eyes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Amber is zombie.mp3. It does look like one of the Halloween. It does look like Halloween makeup around her eyes, like properly. And I know Halloween makeup.
We looked at the lineup and we were like, should she be? No. Anyway, I'll be quiet now.
So it kind of started with lots of what you might call sighters from Man City. Like Viv Miedemar had a couple of strikes. Benny Shaw had one that went wide. There were a few that Sabs D'Angelo kind of dealt with. And again, you're looking at it thinking, this is interesting. And I think it was Ebony Salmon who went through for Villa at one point and very nearly, or was it Gary Nunez?
Yeah, it was Ebony Salmon.
It was Ebony Salmon went through at one point, and you're like, this could be interesting.
Yeah.
And the chance was missed, but you still look at it, and in the context of the game, you think if Salmon scores that, and they get first of all, things start to get really interesting with Man City behind, especially with their current turmoil with their management, which I definitely knew about. And when, I don't know about watching Villa because, again, from the highlights, it looks like it's all City. But when that Ebony Salmon move, when Villa do start to put stuff together, you go, there's a team there. There's a decent team there. So, and then you ask the question of how was that team underachieved so badly under Robert DePaul firstly, and then we found out why, because of his questionable management style. But also Natalia Arroyo's come in and started decently, and then Villa just haven't really kicked on. And eventually, the Bunny Shaw being inevitable was kind of played through, and beautiful little rolled finish, and kind of wheels away, and you're just like, yeah. If that's in the men's game, then that's a prime candidate for Rio Ferdinand standing up yelling, "That's what she does! That is what she does!" over and over again. And then again, the game just kind of settled back down again, and it was like lots of sighters, lots of long range strikes, lots of stuff where you're looking at going, this game is pretty close. Like, there's crosses and saves and stuff flying in back and forth, but there's nothing where you look at it and seriously think, okay, Man City are in control here. And then Jess Park found a second. And at that point, you kind of think, okay, Man City are probably going to go on and win this, because they did outshoot Villa 12-5, and had more shots on target than Villa had in the match, with 69% possession for Man City. Nice. And just like, gotta get the memes in. I don't know. Man City were far from convincing. And again, you get the feeling on another day, Man City are doing now what we've so often accused Man United of, which is riding off the back of a couple of players' efforts. And in Man City's case, it's the knowledge that Buddy Shaw will always find a goal.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a security blanket for them at this point. Like,
because we saw when she was out, how much it affected them. Yeah.
It's almost as if you see it when they start. As soon as Shaw starts doing Buddy Shaw things and bullying defenders, even that first chance that she missed, where she basically forced her way into the box, held off a defender, and then fired a shot wide, and you almost saw in the body language of the other Man City players, it's right, Bunny's on. You know, the rabbit is rampant. We're ready to go in out. And I was waiting for Freya's reaction then. There we go.
Whoa, how do I respond to this anymore?
I got nothing.
No. We're just gonna.
The rampant rabbit was buzzing. There you go.
Oh, God.
But no, I had another
No.
one. Moving on. that was the teacher voice. Did you hear that? That was no. But anyway.
Oh, it gets worse. Don't.
as soon as she got it, you kind of felt, okay, now they've got the lead, they could start to play. And then the second goal, you almost saw the Man City team kind of relax and the fight go out of Villa a bit. Like, oh, okay, 2-0 away from home. It's happening again. And there you go. And in the least predictable, we need to get everybody to watch the semi-finals, because everybody knows Chelsea are probably going through against Liverpool. Sorry, Emily. Let's have a Manchester derby and desperately try and pretend that they're going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's just boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another Manchester derby. I mean, it could have been worse if it was Chelsea and City again. That would have been horrendous.
It's the fifth game in a month.
Oh, God.
7.
I bet you invest, isn't it?
I would have wanted to see, I think, Man United versus Liverpool, because I know there's no real version of that rivalry in the women's game. But it just would have been interesting to see how Amber Whiteley would have handled Mark Skinner, and how, with Skinner as not being aware of the opponent, and I think Liverpool would have done them, and then it would have got interesting.
Yeah,
but I just hope it isn't a Chelsea Man City FA Cup final as well, because just
no.
there will be Chelsea playing Man City 5 times in a season plus another league game. That's too many.
Are you saying, Paul, that you want Mark Skinner to get Man United through to the final?
So he can get absolutely hammered by Chelsea. Yeah. Just like, yes, beat Man City so it isn't Chelsea Man City part 437.
Yeah.
And then get hammered.
Like, the FA Cup is meant to have some magic in it. It's meant to, have at least some more people through to these later stages. But it just feels like we need more competition, don't we? The league does need to expand for this competition to increase.
Yeah, it was great when Spurs did it last season, wasn't it? And it felt more special, didn't it? And you had all the stuff that went on with Spurs at Wembley and stuff. It just felt like a really special day, but it's struggled to see how it's going to be unless Liverpool get there, I guess.
Yeah.
I think all the neutrals want Liverpool to win the cup.
Yeah.
At this point.
Just quite a strange feeling for Liverpool fans, I'd imagine. It'd be great if they beat Chelsea. Because then whoever they're facing, that's a really nice final, isn't it? Whoever they face.
Yeah, that'd be.
It's a far more interesting final if it's Liverpool Man City, because again, I think Liverpool pull that off.
Yeah.
If it's a Liverpool Man City final.
Yeah. So for this next round, we are all going to be Liverpool fans, and hoping that
could end up with the final of 2 interim managers, right? If Liverpool and City get there.
If we'll see, yeah.
The interim final, I'll call it, in years to come.
The interim cup.
I did actually ask because obviously you may or may not. I worked with Matthew on the Saturday Sports Show, and I did ask him. I asked him the question on air, which you should have seen his face. I was like, right, okay, if Chelsea are going, if I said to you Chelsea can win the Champions League this season finally, but you have to sack off one of the cups. And his instant response was League Cup, because the FA Cup is still important.
Yeah, there's still a history behind the FA Cup, isn't it? And how it is. And yeah, you're right. I think most Chelsea fans would agree with that, because Champions League. Speaking of Chelsea, did we also see today Aaron Cuthbert has extended her stay until 2027?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the retaining the question was evil, Paul. How dare you? But yeah, they're retaining their players. Yes, we've got a lot of injuries. So has everyone at this point in the season. But yeah, we shall see. But I mean, it doesn't look like there's any stopping Chelsea at this point. No one's convincing enough consistently. But yeah, we'll see.
I think this is the year for Chelsea in the Champions League. Genuinely,
I think so. Yeah, I mean, looking across the other leagues, I mean, Barcelona aren't really tested, and they've shown that they're more human this season than any others. So yeah, I think, like you said, Chelsea got their best shot this season, if any, to really go for it and do it. So hey, there we go. Right. So I think that is all of the FA Cup. We did, however, Paul, we're going to come back to you because we had one championship game at the weekend, which was the rescheduled Charlton versus Blackburn game. Now, we said it was likely, we said it was Charlton's to lose, essentially, wasn't it? It was Blackburn's shot to try and pull away from Portsmouth and getting dragged into that battle, but unfortunately, they couldn't quite manage it, could they? So yeah, if you can talk us through Charlton Blackburn, please.
Well, very simply, it was not quite Charlton dominance, but it was definite. It went the expected way.
Yeah,
because you could see Charlton came out of the blocks and were determined to stamp their authorities on the game. Blackburn had set up defensively. Certainly the initial plan was for Blackburn to kind of sit in your Mike Bassett 4-4 flipping 2, whereas Charlton were in much more kind of a 3-4-3 kind of formation, and obviously very much we're going for this one. And within 12 minutes, they took the lead. In 21 minutes, I've got that the wrong way around. I'm having a nightmare tonight, but 21 minutes, Gracie Pearce, we'd have a central defender goal, scoring for Charlton. And then Blackburn never really offered much. Like, normally a team goes 1-0 down away from home, and you kind of get that brief burst of the away team tries to respond. And Blackburn just kind of didn't. And it wasn't as if Charlton then smothered them. It was just Charlton scored and then almost took a breath. And that's the bit where you go, right, Blackburn, go for it. And they just didn't. There was just nothing. And then 40 minutes, Jodie Hutton making it 2-0. And a former Villa player amongst many, many others.
I was going to say, Graham is here for the Jodie Hutton free kick.
Beautiful.
It was a beauty. It was. A lot of free kick. I think free kicks are overrated. Like, free kick goals are overrated. Slightly controversial opinion, but it takes a lot for me to see a free kick and really go, yeah, that's a properly good. It needs to be a proper postage stamp free kick up into the top corner.
Yeah.
But this was a good one. Like, and you're just like, that girl can ping one. And that was a ping. It was. And then half time hits, and you kind of sit there and go, fair enough. And the second half was an absolute non-event for 43 minutes. Because Charlton were like, okay, we'll keep going where we're going. And Blackburn, it's like, get the next goal. Things are interesting, guys. And Blackburn just didn't really. They didn't really offer a huge amount going forward. And frankly, I'm amazed they're sat where they are in the league and not lower down, which
is saying something.
Because Sheffield United at least offer a bit of ambition. They recently, Portsmouth have tried to offer a bit of ambition and usually got smacked very hard back down for it. But they've at least tried to play, whereas Blackburn are just kind of there and just try and suck the life out of games. And they tried to do it without, actually scoring. And eventually, Katie Barton kind of put them out of their misery with a lovely break and a ball through into the left channel. And Katie Barton calmly finished, slid the ball past Alex Brooks. There was still time for Tyler Toland in the 96th minute to do one of those really annoying goals that are utterly pointless, but the players still need to pretend they care about them. Like one of those injury time goals when everyone knows the game is lost. It's like, oh, for God, now we've got to sit here for another 30 seconds. You couldn't have just kind of like, the game's over. I think there should be a rule.
Scoring for, pack it in.
Yeah, there should be a rule that you can only score late goals if it genuinely affects the result. Otherwise, just...
Well, Graham wants a petition for all games to end on 95 minutes. So that doesn't happen. So max 95 minutes.
Just literally, WP, start getting rid of relegation. If you want to make women's football more popular and get people to invest in it, WPLL, make a rule that any goal that doesn't affect the result that's scored in injury time gets disallowed.
Could you imagine the backlash? But what if it goes to extra time and you think, that's not going to affect it, then they get another one and another one.
But you'll think of goal difference as well, right?
Yeah, but Goal difference is a made-up stat. You get going. It is. It's one of those things. It's like deciding a league and deciding who's better based on the fact that one team lost 3-0 in a random game on a Tuesday night and another team lost 3-1. Like,
hey, all counts. Added by a goal.
I'm never speaking about goal difference again. I had a very bad experience with goal difference.
You see?
We should eradicate the game of it.
Just the whole game. Football. See you later.
Yeah, get rid of it. I'm with you, Paul. As soon as I heard them words, I was like, I thought I was talking sense. And then I heard goal difference. I was like, no, thanks.
Like have it on something like at least reward rather than goal difference. Make goal difference only count. I'm probably going to sound only count for winning margins. So you don't. If teams lose, then nothing happens with the goal difference. It's just like
so you just go hell for leather, and it doesn't matter how many you concede.
Yeah. Like
you could decide on shots, so people have more shots. How many shots did you get?
Well, if we're talking shots, Villa are going to be up there.
I'm trying to work out, because Dan is so dry, I'm trying to work out whether he's taking the mickey or he's actually agreeing with
me. No. I want more shots. Like, speaking from the fact that my men's team lost out on promotion by 1 goal, that's why I'm so.
Oh yeah,
because when Bristol Rovers scored 7 on the final day of the season.
Oh God, yes.
I
never want to hit the goal difference again, so that's what I've got.
Maybe it should be like rugby, and if they're making these goals count for something, you should get a bonus point for how. If you win by more than 3 goals, you get a bonus point.
Oh yeah.
So 4-point wins.
Nice.
Okay. I mean, don't tell Chelsea that, because that'll just completely.
And then, if you want to make it interesting, then you have losing bonus points, but you only get them if you only lose by 1 goal.
Villa could do that too.
Part of me is genuinely tempted to now go, because the number of games Leicester have lost 1-0 or by 1 goal. If you brought in a losing bonus point,
research. Yeah,
but wouldn't that just make teams shut up shop though after 1-0 as well, and it'd just be boring? Like if you 1-0 down, you just
get the bonus points for scoring 3-4 goals, etc.
No, because
one team's going for the 3 or 4 goals, the other team's just not wanting to lose by any more.
No, because you'd have to score. It would only count if both teams scored.
Oh, I see. Okay, got you. I'm so confused, if I'm honest.
Hey, welcome to my world. You know.
Let's play Bamboozled.
I'm confused, Ted.
It's okay. We'll go to bed soon. It's fine.
Let's get a manager WSL. No, sorry.
In other words, Emily said she thinks it's going to be a Chelsea-Arsenal Champions League final. Ooh, imagine. Matthew says, hey, if we get past Man City and Barcelona, I think it'll be Chelsea versus Lyon. Probably. Ravi in the chat calling it now. Liverpool FA Cup winners. Did you see the display versus Arsenal? Yeah, talked about it, Ravi. We're with you.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone for that. Lovely. Matthew disagreeing. Goal difference is the best thing in football. We won the WSL and goal difference last season. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Mad to think this whole segue start from Blackburn scoring.
That's
You're
a great
used to this now, Graham. You literally warn other people. This is tame.
To which Matthew correctly said, "Graham, you do know this is team chaos."
You know, I could have gone and said right, okay, we decide games on which team does the best impression of a nominated wrestler's entrance. Like, can you imagine Myra Ramirez doing the Triple H entrance, like the full-on water spit with the flame going, and be terrifying.
Can we get Renee Sleggers doing the Ultimate Warrior?
Oh dear.
We've still got to do all the NWSL kits. You wait till I
Yes.
start coming up with kit opinions.
Oh dear. Right, let's let's talk about this next bit. What we wanted to do then, because how it's already 10 o'clock, I don't know. We'll do this next bit quickly. So we wanted to take a moment for the other leagues that are coming to their end, because the women's National League, I have to be very careful not saying Nations League, National League, there's only about three-ish official match days left now. If we talk about, we're just going to have a little look here. So this is the Northern and Southern Premier Division. As we can see, the Northern Division there, you've got Nottingham Forest on 45 points, Wolves on 43, Stoke on 43. Burnley, who I genuinely thought were going to push Forest, have dropped off to 37 points. Rugby Borough, 31 points, Liverpool Feds 29. So in the Northern Premier Division, keep your eyes peeled because, the remaining fixtures, I think they're on matchday 19 or something out of 22. So that is all to play for in the Northern Division. Southern Division, #United are out in front by a good 6 points. However, again, all to play for between them and Ipswich Town. Exeter looking like they're just a bit too out of reach for the moment, because remember, only one team will be promoted from either one.
Ipswich have got games in hand there as well, haven't they?
And loads of games in hand, yes, because in my notes, let's have a look.
6 points behind with 3 games in hand, so that's going right to the end.
Yes, so a lot of them, even in the Northern Division as well. I think like Halifax and people like that have all got, I think they've only played 13, 14 matches because of so many matches called off, wasn't it? So I'm showing this to you now. It could all change. Exeter were playing tonight, I believe, as well. So again, this has probably all changed since I last said anything.
Can you imagine #United getting promoted to the Championship and London City not getting promoted to the WSL? Next year, you just have Al Fakiko. You just have a pair of teams that are not real football clubs. Where the hell is #? On a map?
Exeter have won tonight, by the way. I'm just looking at the beats.
Oh, they have won. Oh, well, that makes it exciting.
1-0, so that takes them up to 39 as well.
Yeah, so joint second with Ipswich.
Yeah, Ipswich have got all the games in hand. So we've got 3 games in hand of both of them. So I'd like Ipswich to go up, I think. I've watched them. They played us in the FA Cup a couple of seasons ago. Good club.
Yeah, good club.
Really good players.
Hey, there we go. And that's the thing. I was finalizing this afternoon and it's changed again. So yeah, we will keep you updated on the movement here. However, I'll just take this off a sec because Danny, we've got to come to you for this one because this is Division 1, everyone. If you aren't familiar, people in the chat, with Tier 4. So Division 1 is split into North, Midlands, South East and South West. And Danny, if we look to the Midlands, there's a nice little interest there.
Yeah, take away Loughborough's 2 games in hand there. But yes, we've been.
We won't talk about that.
No. I've been in the title race all season. It's been a phenomenal season for us, considering the resources of a lot of the other teams in the league that we're having to compete against. Only our second season in this league. Really competing well. So to even be in the conversation at this point is amazing. Had a home game against Lincoln United on Sunday. 750 fans come out for that one. Didn't quite.
That's really good.
Yeah, didn't quite beat our records are just over 1,000, so we were trying to beat that, but didn't quite make it. But 750 fans is still great. In the sun, lovely old day. It was International Women's Day fixture and her Game 2 dedicated fixture as well, which was brilliant. Had our her Game 2 ambassador Heidi doing some amazing work as well on the day. But yeah, it's just a really, really nice day, despite defensive mix-up giving Lincoln the lead. Don't want to talk about that too much, but so Lincoln went in front, and they competed really well for the first little bit, and I think we got back into it. Jemima footed it from distance with a lovely goal, and then we had a floaty L. We had a floaty lob. I want to bring that up. Yeah, Kim Farrow with look it up. It's a lovely floaty lob from Kim Farrow. Spotted the Lincoln United goalkeeper. I don't know if you know Freya, but she's quite small. She wandered off a line a little bit, and Kim just like looked up and thought, "Oh, I'll have a little floaty lob there." I'm sure that's exactly what went through her mind as she lobbed
like,
the ball.
I've heard that on the Absolute Football podcast.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. But she was brilliant. We took control in the second half. Jade Bell, as she does, 2 goals to take her up to 23 league goals for the season. She's going for the Golden Boot for the 2nd year in a row. And the other one, Faith Horner from a corner.
Corner from a corner.
Corner from a corner, yeah. Can I pick out as well 16-year-old Angel Dade come off the bench as well for us, which was incredible.
Oh, wow.
I think they've only been able to play her over the last couple of weeks since she turned 16, but she looks a proper talent. Come off the bench, didn't look out of place at all. Was kind of, some young kids come into the team and they look a bit nervous and stuff. She's like straight on, like doing her stuff, so much pace, so much ability. So at 16, it's incredible what she's doing. So good to see her. And level on points with Loughborough, who got a little draw against Worcester. They've not lost all season, though, Loughborough. So we're really hoping that they slip up in a couple of times in the next few weeks. It's probably asking a little bit too much with just how good they've been, and they've beaten us twice and everything. So they're top on merit and stuff, but you never know in football, do you? You just got to keep going and see what happens. Hopefully they can drop a few more points and we'll see where it happens, see where it goes. But the important thing is we're above the team below us, which is the be all and end all, really. That's all we need. We've got another game at Sixfields against that team below us as well on the final day of the season, which could be very interesting.
Are they the team that shall not be named?
They are the team that shall not be named, yes.
Okay, right, okay.
We call them the Blue Slugs from down the road, yeah.
The Blue Slugs. Oh, that's fantastic. I really wish that I knew you lot when I was still working down Peterborough, because then we could have all met up for all these matches. It would have been great.
Yeah, it's great games.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. That's incredibly tight. I mean, looking at Northern Division, you've got Cheadletown Stingers on 42, Middlesbrough.
That's a brilliant name, by the way, Cheadletown Stingers.
Cheadletown Stingers. Honestly, the further you get down, you're like, these are cracking names. Like they really, really are. All to play for in the Midlands and again South East.
The North. Sorry, before we move on, the North.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the bottom of the Division 1 North. Certain Doncaster Bells, 11th out of 12 teams. They're really, really struggling. Obviously, they had that massive to-do. Where did that come from? In 2013, was it when they got demoted from WSL, from the top division, really unjustly, I thought, and replaced by Man City for money reasons, I assume. Really, really struggling since then, and they're under threat for relegation. 11th at the moment, played 2 games more than the team above them, Norton and Stockton Ancients, above them in the table. So it looks like they might go down again, which is horrific for them.
Isn't that there's an obscure music there. There you go. That's catering for Graham in the chat.
But it's just mad, isn't it? Like, they've won the FA Cup 6 times.
Yeah, you think the history of that club.
They could be going down to the 5th tier. It's insane. Mental.
I think,
also just point out as well that Danny has been incredibly forbearing in not mentioning one of the best stadium names in women's football that his team play at, because it's Fernie Field.
Oh, Fernie Fields, yeah, the Furnabow, yeah.
The Furnabow.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh every single time I see it. It's like perfection. It is. It really, really is. Oh, the Furnabow.
It's like Lewis had several names for the Dripping Pan, which is an amazing stadium name ever. But they called it the Panacanar and the Pan Zero. And it's like, okay, nothing can beat that. And then I found out about the Furnabow, and it's like, yes.
It's a brilliant one. The Dog and Duck at Wellingborough is another good one. I enjoy.
That no way is that a ground.
Yeah, because I think it backs onto it.
There's an actual football ground called the Dog and Duck.
Dog and Duck ground, yeah.
I'm really excited.
I think it's Wellingborough Town later.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, yeah. If anyone else in the chat has a fantastic stadium name that we haven't heard of before, please do put them in. We need to make that a thing. Like, what's your most obscure or nickname for your club stadium? Because we can't beat Furnabow, can we? We really can't. But South East League again, pretty tight-ish at the top. Norwich City pushing for that first place.
Real Bedford. Seriously.
You are.
Real Bedford. Come on. They've got a little bit of money behind them. Real Bedford, but well, just.
I've abstained from saying that because I've only ever seen it written down, and I was like, I'm not going to say it because that's how I would say it. But it is said, right? Okay.
Yeah,
It's funny as well because the story of what's going on with there are two teams in Bedford, which is ridiculous because it's just flipping hole in the hedge. Bedford is.
You're just a hole in the hedge.
Yeah. What's it like to be a town?
Well, you can see you through the hedge.
Real Bedford and Bedford Town.
Wow.
And basically there is proper beef in Bedford because Bedford Town are supposedly the actual historic team.
Okay.
And then there is a breakaway club that is one of those crypto clubs. It was bought by a local crypto investor who has decided he wants Real Bedford to be in the WSL in, I think he said 10 years. And he's trying to merge with Bedford Town to remove the competition. So,
So will it become Real Bedford Town?
Which would be amazing. Just like stupidly superfluous stuff. This is the thing about the lower leagues. I know we like to talk about, but the absolute drama in the lower leagues.
Yeah, it's great.
Stolen balls and arguments on Twitter.
I was going to say, I'd much rather talk about that than Chelsea City 6 times in a row. This is the stuff football's made of. This is what it is. The proper stuff. But Paul, did you want to talk a bit about Moneyfields, were you saying?
I was going to mention them just because Moneyfields are a really cool little team because they are based in Portsmouth and their men's team, and I'm rubbish at pronouncing this, but their men's team play in the Isthmian League South Central.
Oh.
After being promoted from the Wessex League Premier Division last season. So, proper bottom, well, not bottom level, but, proper obscure non-league teams. Like, not the teams whose biggest day in history ever was a FA Cup first round proper game against Macclesfield. That kind of level of. And Moneyfield's women are doing really well. Yeah. On a fraction of the budget of some of the other teams. There is a bit of personal interest here and a bit of bias because Stuart Barker, who sets up and runs the Since 71 blog, which has been running for a while, which have given me the opportunity to go to the Women's League Cup final at the weekend. So,
woohoo, shout out.
Schmoozing in the press box at Pride Park.
Yeah.
Woo. Good derby.
Not just it's not Goodison Park though, is it, Chloe? That's the thing.
No, but I did live in Derby for 3 years when I did my degree. For me, we love Pride Park. Been there many times when I worked for Derby women.
We're not talking about Pride Park at the moment because I nearly went there twice in 4 days because Coventry City, my men's team, obviously went there on Tuesday and lost 2-0. Thank you very much, Frankie Bloody Lampard. But Moneyfields are a proper small community football club. I get the impression they're operating on nowhere near the budget of AFC Bournemouth. Like Bournemouth, it's one of those things where Bournemouth are paying one player what Moneyfields are able to offer to their entire team. That kind of level of thing. And Bournemouth, obviously being a Premier League team and with an American owner, so they are actually trying to get things going and do things. And obviously, Emily's right. They had a very good cup run last season.
They did. I was going to mention it. So thank you, Emily, for.
And eventually, it was a fake football team who knocked them out, wasn't it? It was London City in the end who.
It was,
knocked them out. And they're sat there 4 points behind Bournemouth. So it's coming to they need a bit of luck to fall their way.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do go up from Division 1 to the Premier Division South, again, it's nice, particularly with all the talk recently of abolishing relegation and all the focus on wanting to have the big clubs invest, and no one care about these little grassroots teams down at the lower levels that are actually doing really good things. So that's why I wanted to mention Moneyfields just kind of sat there second in the Division 1 Southwest, and just not far from getting up to the third tier.
They've got to play each other in a couple of weeks' time, Bournemouth and Moneyfields as well. I think Bournemouth have got a couple of games in hand, and they've won every single game this season. So again, it's very similar to our situation in a way. But you never know, if they beat them, it might put pressure on them a little bit.
That was it. I might have understated the task on Moneyfields there when I was like, it's a bit tricky for them. And then that is like, oh yeah, Bournemouth have won every game and they've got 3 games in hand. And it's like,
their goal difference is also plus 76. Bournemouth.
I mean,
they've just been winning games. This is from 16 league games. They've got plus 76 goal difference.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, there's so much going on in the lower divisions, and you just wish we had time to talk about it all on a weekly basis. So we had to talk about it, about it this week.
Can I bring up 2 players from these leagues before we move on
to of course,
just because it's something I spotted while I was looking at it. Bianca Owens of Norton and Stockton Ancients. She's the top scorer of Division 1 North, and she's got 23 goals. Her team's third from bottom. Gemma Fraser of Chesham in the Southeast, top scorer of that league. Her team's third bottom of the league as well. So to be scoring all those goals while your team's struggling is quite insane. That's levels of goals is pretty mad. So yeah, I'm going to pick out those 2.
Yeah, massive shout out there, absolutely. And that's the thing, like, these players are doing incredible things for their clubs and need a platform to be spoken about on. So yeah, thank you very much both for that. That was brilliant. Now the last thing we're going to talk about before we do some predictions. The NWSL, guys, is back this week. And we've had some kit drops of recent weeks. What I've done, because there's that bloody many, I've put them over 2 slides. I think I've done it quite well. And if you've already got favourites, of course, we'll talk about it. Everyone in the chat, get involved as well. Which ones are your favourites? I've got Home and Away, not the TV show. And
Sausage Day.
We belong together.
Oh God. Actually, before we do that, this did make us laugh. When we're talking about Moneyfields, Graham did put, is that Michelle Kang's Benetton? Moneyfields.
No, that's just her bank.
Did make me giggle. Right, okay. Right, first page. Have a little look. So some have gone a bit rogue. Some, like San Diego Wave, I believe they've kept that kit from last season, but they've introduced their new away kit, which looks like the ocean. But yeah, out of the ones on the screen, has anyone got any thoughts, either good or bad? Again, if you're a fan of Drag Race, Raven does a toot or a boot. But this one, I don't know what our words could be. I didn't think that far. It's just come to me. But yeah, has anyone got any thoughts, good or bad, on the kits on the screen?
Angel City have no imagination.
Yes.
Which
might explain some of their managerial
It's annoying because the Angel City away kit has got some really nice detailing on it, but you can't see it unless it's really, really close up. So yeah, it's got like bits of like LA and the palm trees and the bits and pieces. Which
it's one of those things where you kind of look at it and go, if you had to pick, the way I can say about the Angel City kit is, if you had to pick which one of those teams Jonas Eideveld was the manager of, you'd absolutely pick Angel City based on the kit alone. Like, all the rest have too much personality. It's just, I'm a bit.
My favourite's still to come, I think, but the Houston
Yeah.
Dash away kit is looking quite nice.
Yes.
This I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm hovering over it. Saying
Pointed at it.
This one, yeah. Yeah, the blacks and the pink. It's more like
that's quite nice.
like a magenta, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
feels like there should be a team from Milwaukee because it looks like a Purple Rain kind of kit. It looks like a Prince tribute. It's amazing. That Chicago Stars away kit, by the way, looks like a rugby shirt.
Sure, sounds bit. The black one.
The black one. To me, that's a Gallagher Premiership rugby shirt. That has very large public school boys running around into each other rather than.
Well, yeah, that one's
football.
interesting because it's like water droplets. It's like a graphic of like all the water drops and like waves and things. So it's if you can like get them up at a different point, like really zoom in because there's so much detail on them. It's so
Washington
easy
lack of spirit.
Washington. Yeah, I don't know what Washington are playing at. You've seen all these other kits around you. Like, what is this? Chloe, have you got any favourites or ones you don't like on this page?
Well, I don't like Houston Dash's home, but I don't like orange because it's the colour of Blackpool. So it's personal, but no, my favourite.
Did your accent go like more northern then? Like you just kind of, I don't like Houston Dash because I don't like Blackpool. Like
yeah, my dad's a massive Preston North End fan, so anything to do with orange, which is the colour of Blackpool, we just don't do. We don't deal with.
We don't talk about it.
You're like Angel City then, because they look like Preston kits. The Angel City.
I have to say,
is that the Seattle one? Is it got some details on it? Because it looks quite blank.
Which one?
It looks like the Seattle white one. It looks.
Oh, the Seattle rain one.
The
away one is my favourite one.
Mm.
I love it because have I closed the thing? So on it, yes, it's like the white, but the stripes that look like sunshine coming off are like gold, and then the blue is like a bluey grey, and it just it's really nice. Hang on. In fact, while I find that picture, anyone want to say anything more about these other kits, or do you want us to go on the next page?
The San Diego Wave home kit looks like one of those bad hypercolour t-shirts. You got the wet all the colour ran on purpose.
It's tie-dye. It's cool.
That's the same one, isn't it, from last season? I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think some of them kept their home shirts, haven't they?
Yes. Some of them have. Yeah. But yeah, right. I'll tell you what. These are the others.
There we go.
The good ones, and I'm going to get up the Seattle one again.
Why have Racing Louisville got a knitted jumper?
It looks like they're going to play golf, doesn't it? It just
like that looks like something a 50-something businessman would wear to a really, really bad restaurant that they thought were fashionable.
Pub golf.
Pub golf.
It's a pub golf top.
The matching hat. Yes.
Yeah.
What I couldn't get away with was the again, you can't really see if I hang on. Can I do this? Oh, there we go. Can we see like the texture on the kits that make it look like really bobbly?
Yeah.
Just it doesn't look nice. I don't know. I just no. I can't get away with it. Okay. This is everyone. I'm going to share my screen with you for the Seattle rain one. Share screen. Right. Can we all see?
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That looks nicer.
Okay, yeah.
So, why has it done that? Hang on. Ooh. Let's go there. Yeah. So it's got the gold on, and then like the bluey grey on the sleeves.
Yeah, $195. Jeez.
Yeah, $195. So this is the authentic, like proper player one.
That's proper gold. That.
24 carat. So yes, the lines streaming across the jersey are inspired by the iconic designs across the Seattle skyline. So there you go. That's where the gold is. But yeah, that one looks.
They have a load of streaky lines across the sky in Seattle.
They do. They do.
Is that because marijuana is legal in Washington? Like, is that just what they actually see?
No. So yeah, I know that a lot of KC Current fans quite like the teal. It's a beautiful colour.
The all teal kit got me. I was like, that I'm having that.
Yeah.
I adopted KC Current last season as my because I started watching it for the first time properly last season. That and Temwa Chewinga and her exploits, and this teal kit I think has been called for the fans for a long time, and they've done a massive reveal. Like they do brilliant stuff around the city as well with teal stuff, and they're painting the town teal and everything. So this full teal kit is brilliant. I love it. I like the red one as well, actually, to be fair, but. Yeah,
with a little teal on the shoulder.
It's
very clean, that teal kit, isn't it? Apparently that's the popular phrase that the kids are using about good football kits now. They're clean. Peng.
More lingo, get you.
I feel like I want to answer the phone to Portland Thorns all of a sudden.
It just because Matthew said that. Why is their sponsor so big? What? Yeah, because compared to the others, it's like, no.
I'll bet if Portland players score a goal, they wouldn't kiss their shirt, though.
What?
Okay. Because if they're kissing their shirt, that sponsor being so big, they'd probably be kissing the ring.
Oh, dear. You know, you try and do something nice and rate the kits, and then
I'm rating the kits. They're crap.
I'm enjoying the graphics, by the way, Freya, for the last section and this one. Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Anything for you guys?
The Portland Thorns look like something that have come out of a ring. Like they're just. You've got the golf jumper for Racing Louisville. You've got whatever that NC Courage thing is.
Yeah, that's a clip art job, NC Courage, that blue one, isn't it? That's what's going on.
Yeah,
or it's something that an apprentice team have.
That's a generic FIFA kit. You know when you do create a team on FIFA?
Yeah. I always think Gotham's could be cooler than it is. Like,
I just appreciate Matthew's comment at the bottom. I enjoyed that.
Oh no!
Oh, well done. Oh dear, Sleeps in Seattle.
Thanks, but no Hanks. Anyway, what is the weirdness with that diagonal line? Why have they put a sash on it? Like,
I mean, it's Batman FC in it, Gotham. Like,
I mean, do you want me to see if there's a description for you that I can tell you?
All the press releases that this kit is meant to represent the iconic New York, New Jersey Expressway.
The iconic bat signal.
Batman FC.
Our home kit is meant to represent a motorway.
Hang on. Oh no. Get in gear with the replica jersey. Together, these jerseys pair two seemingly contrasting ideas: grit and joy. Embracing them both as part of our culture.
Grit and joy.
Grit and joy.
Oh.
There you go.
Joy? What the?
Can't have the grit without the joy, and vice versa.
What is that? I mean,
I should have just read these out. These are great.
I want to hear the Racing Louisville one. We've always always liked golf in Louisville.
Okay, so for that one.
Hold on, isn't Louisville in Kentucky? Are they going
yeah,
for
it's gonna be the racing.
Kentucky Derby theme? Is that what's going on?
Oh God, it's a jockey shirt.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's
Actually, jockey. Yeah. That's
it doesn't have a description. That's
Most of their players are cart horses.
Oh, not a Flanders though, so it's fine. No, just cheer on your favorite team this year with designed to keep you as stylish and game ready as the pros.
Why do Orlando Pride not just go for a full-on rainbow jersey every year?
We should. I really think we should.
Like literally just a jersey based on the Progress Pride flag. Every year.
That would sell like hotcakes if hotcakes are still a thing.
Oh, I found a description for Racing Louisville.
Oh God.
Right.
Celebrating Louisville's cultural connection to horse racing, this kit serves as a good reminder that size does not determine strength. Similar to jockeys, players from Racing Louisville are always prepared to set the pace. Inspired by traditional horse racing skills, the jersey features a lavender diamond pattern with an Argyle mint overlay. The fleur-de-lis is a nod to Louisville's French heritage.
Green and purple. Then.
What? The fleur-de-lis?
The fleur-de-lis on the badge.
Right.
That's so funny.
It's a nod to their French heritage.
What colour? What colours did they say? Lavender and mint.
Bear with. Lavender diamond with an Argyle mint overlay. Yes.
It's just purple and green.
No.
Lavender and
So,
mint.
hang on. There is, on the actual, it's even worse if you look at it up close. Sorry to everyone still watching, but we're doing this for our own entertainment now, I think. If you look, can you see the green?
That looks like a really crap suit.
Yeah, can you see the green?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's got like a green trim.
That is vile.
It's vile, yeah.
Louis Vile. Like
Louis Vile. Only $130 that one though. So there we go, we're getting cheaper.
You might as well wipe your backside with it and it will produce something more attractive. Like honestly. Did anyone see, by the way, the NC lack of courage for their jerseys? Because they had a clip art home jersey and just a plain away one.
Yeah, they just again, it's that that material that everyone seems to no, I don't like it. The black Portland Thorns one, that's got like orange woven into it. That looks really nice, that one. Chloe, are you getting the Orlando Pride one with the oranges on?
Absolutely not. Although I do, no, to be fair, that was our away kit last season.
Cold fruit. It's fine.
I like the meaning behind it, the Florida oranges and that type of thing. But I just can't get behind the orange. I do like our home kit though, and I quite like now that we've got a little star because we won last season.
Oh yeah, of course.
Just gonna get that in there.
The purple and the blue. It's really, really nice.
At least one of my teams have won something.
It may have oranges on it, but it's a bit of a lemon.
Oh, well done. Well done. Okay, so if we have a mini vote out of all these kits, which I just saw a flash of something moving. I was like, yep, that'll be Phil.
He's trying to find out if any of these have a managerial vacancy.
Yeah.
What is my tracksuit going to look like?
Yeah. How can I fit in? So did we have a favourite each that we wanted to quickly say?
Yeah, I have to go with my Teal Town friends, Casey.
Teal Town. Yep. Chloe, are you going Pride home?
Yeah, our Pride purple shirt.
Yeah. Paul, have you picked one that you hate the least?
Not on this page. Do you know what? I quite like the Utah Royals blue one.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm going to find out Utah are absolutely crap, aren't I?
Could I just question the Utah Royals' sponsor? That's a little bit.
I've now got to Google that. I'm sure it's like an insurance.
I'm not sure I'd want to be wearing that, if I'm honest. It's
got an eagle above it as well.
It's a credit union. Yeah, it's a bank.
Okay.
But it's America First with an eagle in the current political background. Like
it's very similar to something else, isn't it? Yeah. However, I can tell you that jersey, the blue one, it embodies the colour and terrain of Utah. Is it underwater? And the crest features the secondary crest in the shape of Utah. So there you go.
It really annoys me that they're known as the Utah Royals and not the Utah Saints, though.
Utah Saints. Well, name's already taken, wasn't it? So
Because if they were known as the Utah Saints, they'd be something good.
Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. Now, right, quickly, last little thing, and then we can all go to bed. Is just some predictions for the weekend. So we've got coming up in the WSL on Friday and Sunday, because remember it's what's it called? League
Subway
Cup.
Cup.
The Sub Cup final.
On the Saturday.
Sub Cup.
Sub Cup. So me and Chloe will be at Everton versus Arsenal on Friday night. Same night as Liverpool Man United. So everyone's going to be trying to get into Liverpool. Not impressed, trying to work out what time I should leave my house. I think probably Thursday. The traffic. So we've got Everton Arsenal, Liverpool United, Palace Villa, important match.
Relegation disappointer.
Yeah. Villa, as Emma rightly says, Villa to beat Palace, but also Villa need to beat Palace.
I'll tell you what,
I feel like this might be Palace's last chance to kind of really get in touch. That'd be, yeah.
And of course, Spurs, Brighton as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to Everton Arsenal because we'll be there. Hopefully, Everton robbing points off Arsenal again. That'd be great.
Very excited.
But yeah, honestly, Palace Villa is going to be massive.
Tottenham Brighton should be a good game actually as well.
Yes. Yeah. See what happens, because again, Brighton have been doing some very good things. Very good indeed. And yeah, I mean, Liverpool United will be all right, I guess. But again, we hope Liverpool win and can take some points there. However, in the so quick score predictions. Then Everton, Arsenal, shout out. What do we think? Who's going to win?
Hopefully us. Everton.
Okay, shout out for Everton. Anyone else?
I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2. I like that one. Yeah,
Ooh,
Paul.
okay.
Anything?
I think Everton take at least a point, just as they did at the Emirates.
Yeah, I think so. I think draws are around that one. Liverpool United. Anyone got any shouts?
Sneaky 1-0 Liverpool.
Ooh, yeah, I like it.
Just a sneaky one.
Just a little 96th minute for just right there.
And they get 4 points for the bonus point.
And the bonus ball this week is Palace Villa. Realistically, I think Villa can edge it.
Yeah, I think it'll be tight, but I think Villa.
It's not going to be easy.
Close, but Villa will get the win.
I hope so.
If it was at Villa Park, I'd go Villa, but at Selhurst Park with new manager bounce and with Palace realistically knowing this is their last chance to keep in touch points wise.
That's the thing. I'm scared. Maybe. I think it'll be a draw until like the dying minutes, and then something will happen. Either way. I don't want to think about it. And Spurs, Brighton. Anyone got any thoughts?
Ding dong for this one.
Ding dong.
Ding dong. 3-2 to Brighton.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, I can see that. Yep. Anyone else?
Yeah, they've got to make it interesting somehow, because their two teams were kind of nothing to play for now for the rest of the season, because Brighton are sat there in fifth, but you don't get anything for fifth.
No, true.
So they're just kind of there, 20-something points. I'm doing the maths here. 12, 13 points behind Manchester City. So realistically, they're not catching them.
Yeah.
And
that's a massive gap.
And they're also 13 points out of relegation. So it's that little mid-table league when nothing interesting really happens.
Oh, Matthew, well done. Tottenham vs Brighton will be a wumper bang away.
Oh,
Oh dear.
Yes, it's been brought back. Oh, I love that word. I love it. It made my life. So exciting WSL going on this weekend. And last thing, Championship, best league in the world, is back. Okay, so if we look, we've got Durham, Newcastle, another Northeast derby. We've got Birmingham, Southampton, London City, Blackburn, Bristol, Charlton, Portsmouth, Sunderland. Anything there take anyone's eyes or any score predictions? If you all have a little look. And again in the chat, what do you think as well?
I think Bristol City Charlton should be a good one.
Mm.
Both teams chasing it. So I think Birmingham has started to move away a little bit at the top, but I think Bristol City and Charlton, I think whoever can get the win there can stay in the race.
Yes.
Should be good. Both had really good seasons.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, should be. I mean, Durham, Newcastle. I mean, Durham will be fuming that they lost against Sunderland and at home ground. And apparently there's a bit of a kick-off about which media are allowed in and Newcastle and stuff, which is...
Newcastle fans kicking up a fuss as well about not having enough tickets and things, yeah.
The Newcastle fans were kicking up a fuss because they're 35 crap YouTubers all want to go and can't get in. Like True Geordie and True Geordie Part 2 and even more True Geordie and
Best
definitely not a Mackham, and they just all have the same...
Oh, I saw this is kind of relevant. There was a meme, I don't know how real it was, but it was someone that had got a flag printed, a Newcastle flag, and they'd put FTM in the corner, which very colloquially stands for F the Mags, but they'd put it on their Newcastle flag because they thought it was F the Mackhams.
Amazing.
And and even, I'm not from the Northeast, and even I know that definitely isn't aimed at Sunderland.
But yeah, it's just in the corner, and they were like, "It means F the Mags," and they're like, "No, it doesn't. I've seen it before." No. It made me laugh.
I think Birmingham City versus Southampton could be an interesting one because London City will be helping Southampton play spoilers. Because London City are realistically going to beat Blackburn.
Yeah.
He said, desperately trying to put the kiss of death on London City once again. It weren't one of these weeks. But Birmingham City versus Southampton is interesting because, again, it's a game Birmingham City should win. But with the Championship the way it has been, it will be very Championship for Birmingham City to pull away a little and then screw up against Southampton and have London City sucked right back into the race.
Yeah. Southampton making moves and even taking points at this point is going to be massive in that race, isn't it? Because if you have a look, so Birmingham City do have a game extra, London City with the game in hand. So 32, 29, 28, 26, 24, 24, 23. Between first and sixth, it's 8 points. And it just that pack. We said it before, we'll say it again. The order of that pack is yet to be decided. But yeah, it's just Southampton are just losing momentum, aren't they? At the bottom there with 17 compared to Newcastle's 23. So, but 5, 6 sounds like the start of a stepstone at the bottom, doesn't it? 6, 7, 8. Between Portsmouth, Sheffield, and Blackburn. So there we go. And we'll say, so exciting, and it's all to play for. And remember as well, it's WSL Championship. Yes, it is. But, go and find your local grassroots club as well. They need your support. And as we've seen, all of these teams have such stories that need to be told. And that's why we're here to do it. And I just want to do one more shout out because the reason I've got my Piemonte shirt behind me, she is currently the second highest goal scorer in Serie A. Yes. We all knew it. We all knew she could do it. And Lazio, who she plays for, have had the perfect start to their relegation group. So I don't know if people know, after 18 regular matches, it then splits into the Champions Group and the relegation round, 5 teams in each. And you've essentially got to win as many as you can in another round robin style tournament. And they've won both of their matches. So they're currently top of their relegation group. They can't get promoted, they just stay top. And it just means that they won't then get relegated at the end of the season. Because they're changing it. Again, we're talking about league expansion. Serie A is improving, expanding to 12 teams instead of 10. So only one is being relegated at the end of the season, which at the moment is Sampdoria, because they haven't reached double figures yet. They've only
That's a Gazzetta Football Italian name right there. Watching Channel 4 in the late 90s when Sampdoria were good. With lots of balding footballers. Sciali, Lombardo, and all of that.
But yeah, it's incredibly exciting. Hard to find information if you don't know where you're looking, but we're aiming to change that, and we want to make it accessible to everyone. So there we go. So I believe that's everything apart from socials, of course. Now we know most of you follow already, but just in case there's a platform you don't follow us on, here you go. So it's not just us talking women's football on a Wednesday. Remember, we've got Premier League on its new time of 8:30 on a Tuesday. We're here on a Wednesday, and Lower League are on a Thursday. We can hear a baby crying in the background. Hello. Getting very excited about socials. So on Twitter, we are at Absolute Ball Pod, YouTube, Absolute Football Podcast, Twitch, Absolute Football Podcast as well. Do you want to say hello? Do you want to help me do the socials? Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Toby.
Hello. Okay, we're going to read this. Okay. So on TikTok, we're at the Absolute Football Pod. Instagram, Absolute Football Podcast with an underscore. On Blue Sky, the apps at Absolute Football, and we're all on there too. Come and join us. And on Facebook, the Absolute Football Podcast as well. Yeah, did you enjoy that? Yes. So do give us a like, share, follow, subscribe, whatever you like to do. Over full screen. Hello. So hang on.
I was just about to bring Phil back in, but I think it might scare her. She'll be up all night.
Oh, Graham's just put her first words will be Phil Neville. Can you imagine?
Oh, imagine.
Oh, that's so funny.
By the way,
Toby, your first words are up the mags.
No, you will never say that.
Awesome.
Or I
was just checking Phil Neville's Twitter, by the way, before, just to see what he was up to. Fizzer181, if you want to follow him. His last tweet was on February the 14th. Very simply, I don't do Valentine's Day. That's brilliant.
That's just such a Phil Neville tweet.
To the point.
It's taken the time to go on Twitter on Valentine's Day. I don't do a Valentine's Day.
Don't do it. Full stop.
Yeah.
Full stop at the end. Oh, Phil, what would we do, Danny, without you and Phil?
What would we do? What would we do?
And if people do want to find more of you, Danny, with your Phil Neville updates and contact, where can people find you, please?
They can find me just here. At Danny Brothers on Twitter, at Danny the Brothers on Instagram, all things Northampton Town men and women, and all things in between, and all that kind of stuff. And Phil Neville updates.
And Phil Neville updates.
The occasional David Snedden update as well from Fame Academy.
That's a really obscure joke.
I was thinking, I was like,
what the hell? Of all like
Snedden,
the former talent,
Snedden, Neville, all of them.
of all the talent show people, you can pay.
They need a shout out, just like the FA Women's National League Division 1 Midlands. They need a shout out.
Yeah, they do. Okay. In fact, Chloe, where can people find more of you, please, if they'd like to?
So if you'd like to find me doing match reports or just talking about how excited I am about signings, games, and Fake Fan FC, I am at ChloeBeth529 NFC. Whoa. I am. Yes, she's excited about Fake Fan FC. The amount of baby grows, we're very excited about Fake Fan FC. I am at ChloeBeth529 on all socials.
Yay. And Paul, thank you very much. Where can people find you, please, if you'd like them to?
If you want to be on Twitter for or Blue Sky for rants about various things, although I rant a little less, and I'm apparently made a horrific mistake by staying off it for a couple of days at the start of this week. So I will go back and check minor bits of news like, WSL manager sackings and things like that. Rants about Arsenal, rants about Coventry City, occasional updates for Alex Parks. I'm like, I heard the David Snedden joke. I'm like, I've got to get another one in there as well. She's on the other side of the world,
Alex Parks, is she?
No
one found her. She disappeared, didn't she? For a bit.
She did well and truly just kind of fade away. I was trying to think of a single song title by Alex Parks to try and get in there. I can't. No. I can't.
Don't Let Go, I think, was one of them. I think.
I'm trying to think of the one that she actually got the number one for. Anyway, we're doing Danger of Being Hanged Late. I'm supposed to be telling you my socials, not remembering frigging Fame Academy.
Fame Academy special.
Imagine. You don't get Fame Academy on Counter Press, do you?
Fame Academy football special.
No.
Phil Neville on judges' houses. That'd be incredible.
I imagine. Like Dion Dublin does it anyway, so we could do it with Phil Neville, but he does. Phil Neville rebuilds restaurants. Like, I feel like Alan Partridge now. Dictaphone idea. Monkey wrestling. Like football coach car park sumo.
I actually like that one.
There you go. Toby's in. That's one viewer. Anyway, Paul W Radio, and then you stick the little blue sky.social. I don't know why you want to after hearing some of my ramblings tonight. I don't know, but you're more than welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. And if you do want to find more of me, I'm at Tiffany Writes. All things Villa, part of the Pride Pod, or football in general. I know. I talk pretty much.
You just said Villa. That's
she knows. Well, she's got the Sunderland baby girl, so that's what it is. Can I just say that autocorrect has stung in one last absolute beauty, where Emma now says Toby has her own fake fanfic. Like,
fake fanfic FC.
So like fake fanfic FC. It's like fake FC, but it's about people writing stories about fake fan FC.
So it's like Inception.
It is Inception. It's very meta.
The writers of the fanfic of the football of the. Anyway, we're
going to be until 2 a.m. just chatting nonsense.
It's very meta, or as it was until a few years ago.
You can
Facebook.
find us on socials. We have podcasts. We talk football, and also a lot of nonsense and fun as well. So yes, we will leave it there. We will go to bed. And thank you so much for everyone for watching, listening, liking, subscribing, and we'll see you again next Wednesday at 8:30. So good evening.